Johnnycakes are English-sized biscuits that are made all over the Caribbean, including Belize. On today's menu, I'm going to show you how to do Belizean style Johnnycakes. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. Okay, so I measured out for you 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then I'm adding 3 teaspoons of baking powder. This recipe is pretty simple to do. It's a quick meal you can do for breakfast, or you can do it any time of the day, but mostly for breakfast because it's more like a biscuit. You know, this is 2 tablespoons of sugar that I'm putting. It's called Johnnycakes, but the name is somewhat of a mystery and probably has nothing to do with some guy named John. Some historians believe that the colonists slurred their words when they were doing the British pronunciation of the R, because this cake originally was called journey cake because it could be taken on long trips because it was very highly non-perishable. And so you know how the English speak, they say journey, and we think that's where Johnnycakes came from. This is coconut milk from the can, and I would say this is about 5 ounces or so of coconut milk. We don't want to add it too fast because we don't want this dough to get too sticky, because it's not a cookie, it's more like a bread, or like I said, a biscuit. And the butter that I put in, by the way, is 1/3 of a cup of butter. I don't do anything with margarine except for one bun that I'm going to show you in the future called powder bun, because that makes the bun a little bit softer. I do everything with butter, and we're going to get this into a nice dough. I'm not going to pause the camera on this one because a lot of people have told me they don't know how to knead the flour to make it into a dough, and they think when I pause the camera that I'm adding things like maybe adding more flour in there or something. See, I've not added too much of that milk. This is a nice dough. It's not sticky, it's not too dry. This will give you approximately 8 Johnnycakes. I usually make it for breakfast, and my husband, my daughter, and I will have 1 each, and then we'll have 5 left over. And I take it around to my friend Louise and hang it on her door so she can wake up to some fresh biscuits in the morning. Just as a little surprise, because I know she loves it. It's always good to find somebody who loves what you're making. So here we are, we have this dough. And yes, this is kneading. This is not like a cookie where you don't knead it. And you can either take a knife and cut this into 8 equal pieces, as equal as you can get it, or you can do this little fun part that I do, where I use a rolling pin, and I don't roll it too flat, so this is not too flat, and I take just a regular drinking glass. You know, we don't have fancy things in here. Remember, our pantry and our tools are pretty bare. See how we have a biscuit? We put it on a greased baking tray, and we do this decoration just to make it look pretty. This doesn't really serve any cooking purpose, just to make it look pretty. Let's cut another one because I want to show you the way my husband decorates it. He's from a different part of Belize, and I don't know if that plays a role, but he takes like a butter knife and he just kind of put that in there. So you may see some Johnnycakes from Belize this way too, with this decoration. Doesn't matter what you do, just decorate it so it can be presentable. So I'm going to go ahead and knead the rest of our dough. Oh, let me show you one quick thing. How we can, like if we're not doing that glass, you would just roll it like this to get the back part cleaned up. And then you start folding it in and closing it in to make it look neat. You pinch it and you roll it like that, and then you would mash it, not too flat, and then you would poke it the same way and bake it. And that's another way to do it. So I'm going to get as many as I can get on this baking tray. I'm going to stick it in the oven on 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes. And when I come back, before I show you the finished product, I'm going to show you what I want you to do at the very ending. We have the Johnnycakes. It's been about 40 minutes that's baking. I don't like that it's still white. I'm going to show you a little trick that my mom taught me. I turned on the broiler now. It was not cooking on the broiler the whole time. It was in the oven on 350. So now the broiler has been on for about a minute. And that fire is just going to go over there and glaze the top of the Johnny cake to make it sun-kissed. Doesn't do anything for the cooking or the eating. That's only for the presentation, okay? When I come back, I'll show you the finished product. Here we have our finished product. I only got 7 out of this recipe because when you do the one that are with the glass, you get bigger Johnny cakes than when you roll them the way I did with these ones. See how the broiler sun-kissed it to make it look brown? This is the one we did with the knife. This is the one we did with the fork, the biscuit kind. So I've cut one here for you. And we have some butter. It's hot right now. The Johnny cakes are still hot right now. The butter is not melted yet, so put the butter on. And what I have here is some cheese imported from Belize. It's called Dutch or Edam cheese or redback cheese or stinky toe cheese because it actually stinks. It smells more like Parmesan. So you peel the back off. You put it on your Johnny cake. You could put jelly. You could put peanut butter, ham, refried beans, anything you want to eat this breakfast biscuit with. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that you subscribe. If you like the show, please subscribe. Thank you for your positive comments. Until I see you again, take care. Let me take a bite.